My career in the Army is that I'm an operations research and systems analysis officer. I taught in the math department at West Point. They wanted me to come back, and part of that deal was to send me to go get a Ph.D. somewhere. Ph.D. in industrial and systems engineering really seemed to fit.
We looked at schools that were closer to where we lived, and just the reception that Andrew got when he came out and visited.
They rolled out the proverbial maroon carpet for me, which was huge. I felt wanted, I guess, that I wasn't just another student showing up to help pay the bills.
The Texas A&M community has been really incredible as well. It's been really fun to go to sporting events, and we've gotten to go to the Physics and Engineering Festival with the kids. I've never lived anywhere that had that kind of resource available. It's different when you start these programs and you're almost 40 and you're married and you have 3 kids, as opposed to being 25 and not really having other responsibilities aside from the program.
Texas A&M will work with you. They were very accommodating to helping me outline what I needed to do and what I needed to accomplish to make sure that I was set up for success to be able to leave here in 3 years. I've always liked problem solving. When I started off, I wasn't really sure how I'd really like doing the research, which is kind of a funny thing to say for somebody who's pursuing a PhD. But the research is really where my advisor helped me out a lot in realizing what I needed to do and what I needed to accomplish. This program has just given me a lot more armament to use in that type of role. I absolutely love the values that Texas A&M holds. In a lot of ways, those mirror the values that West Point has and the values that exist in the military and the Army specifically. So as I leave here, I think, man, I've got a whole new skill set that I can lean on. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe that our 3 years is up and it's time to go. And we're definitely gonna miss it.